Are you killing your true self by trying to be popular online? I would love to kiss you. The price of kissing is your life. Now my loving is running towards my life, shouting, "What a bargain! Let's buy it!" This was my favorite line of poetry in high school. My teenage heart thought that is what love should be like. I had Rumi's love poem written on a purple Post-it stuck to my alarm clock, so I'd see it before school every day. Now, as a linguist, I realized I was neurotraining myself to prioritize love over money from the age of 15. Not bad. I'll take it. So let's get into our high school mindset for a moment together. Remember that intense lure of doing things to gain popularity within your school? Were you a proud geek, a rose-colored glasses cheerleader, an angsty artist? For me, that came later in college. The head honcho of the honor student pack? We all did some questionable things to rise in popularity. And then it turns out you had to keep doing those compromising things to keep your popularity. It often required you to make choices compromising your authentic self. When we map that psychology onto branding and marketing, doing things to gain quick upticks in popularity that are inauthentic can gain you short-term gains in followers and some impulse buys. But people sniff out authenticity NASCAR quick and rarely ever forget your inauthenticity. In essence, you lose them altogether, forever. Authenticity earns you respect, and authenticity gains you loyalty. Over time, it gains you massive, massive popularity. Authenticity versus popularity branding. Who will win? Hey everyone, it's Canon Wing from Inspirationtomillions. If you're on social media at all, you probably saw that Heineken ad that came out, I think it was 2017. It was this social experiment where pairs of people with diametrically opposed ideologies were asked to work together on a project without being told anything about the other person. The idea behind it was so beautiful, so unifying, inspiring about promoting understanding between diverging views, finding a common ground. I just love the ad, and I'm pretty sure that it made many people reach for a Heineken right away. As an ad, it was brilliant. As a branding exercise, it was clever in the way that it appealed to a diverse mix of people and made the brand come across as warm, inclusive, concerned, and just so heartwarming. I remember my friends telling me, I don't even drink beer, but this is beautiful, and now I want a Heineken. Wouldn't you love to be able to extract that sort of response for your brand? A brand that operates on authenticity and operates on that premise is viewed as aware, caring, responsible, even mature. Sure, brands that operate on that popularity premise are great too. They appeal to a diverse range of people and will go on to attract customers as well. But will their ideal audience be loyal to them based on a consistent expectation of authenticity? That's what we'll be talking about today. The core personality of your brand message. Authentic or popular? As a person has a reputation, so does a brand have its own reputation, its own personality. So you need to decide which one you want your brand to be, authentic or popular. And remember, if you're not consciously branding your company, your products, your services, you can be sure others are branding it for you. Remember high school? We'd categorize people like to feel a sense of safety or a sense of control. We do the same with brands. You want to decide whether your brand's personality has a certain popular appeal or a gravitas that speaks about valuing important issues. As a brand, you sometimes have to take sides, and this is what helps your brand come across as brave and fearless and as having the courage of its convictions, a place where we can feel safe to grow. It can backfire with some people, but those are not your people. It will work with your ideal audience over the long term, and the long term is really what branding is for. The social media brouhaha over Colin Kaepernick's Nike ad is the perfect example of this. In case you're not familiar with this story of how the NFL player refused to take a stand during the national anthem to protest certain issues close to his heart, on the advice of a veteran, he amended his stance to kneeling as a form of protest against racism and selective police brutality. When Nike decided to run with Colin Kaepernick ads on the occasion of the brand's 30th anniversary of the launch of their iconic Just Do It tagline, it was a gamble. The company had seen a 12% drop in the value due to some market and top management related issues. But they did it and issued a statement to the effect that social justice issues that Colin and other professional athletes have raised deserve attention and action. This made their stance clear and unequivocal. There was an apprehension that this move would alienate a large chunk of their ideal audience, making them unpopular, and it would be counterproductive and driving down sales. And there was a significant backlash, to be sure, everyone was saying. There were people burning their Nike gear and posting those videos on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. Yeah, there were those who were angry with the brand. As a reaction to the social media fervor, the company stock also took a temporary dip. It seemed like Just Do It was going to transform into really didn't think this time. But then, look at how many more people responded. Those who saw themselves as aware and involved in social issues, sympathetic to important issues and causes. While some were burning their Nikes and declaring new loyalty to other brands, many more pledging their support to Nike, rushing out to buy more of their products, just out of the pride of it. Regardless of the position of the individual customers on the political spectrum, this still made the brand come across as principled, willing to stand up for what it believes in, and actually showing a spine. And examine what this stance said to their ideal individual. 2/3 of Nike customers are racially diverse, politically engaged under 35. They saw it as brave and authentic stance by the company. Not only were they vocal in their support for Nike, they spoke in the most eloquent way possible. Online sales of the brand were significantly following Kaepernick's ads. Online sales were up 31% by Labor Day. This is a big jump from 17% seen the prior year for the same period. So the branding takeaway here is the more you are authentic to yourself, the more people who are like you will join your brand, join your community. Being your authentic self is the golden equation for creating and sustaining brand loyalty. And brand loyalty is your business plan. Are you scanning your brain to find places where you might be inauthentic? Just to make sure you aren't getting lured into that quick decisions to do what everybody else is doing or to stay neutral somehow in the world. Here's how you can tell if your brand is being inauthentic. The most exhausting thing you can be is inauthentic. Nike, I believe, acted in a way consistent with its previous behavior. During Black History Month, Nike's equality campaign featured LeBron James, Serena Williams, Kevin Durant, and others. After Serena Williams' catsuit was controversially banned at the French Open, Nike came out in strong support. You can take the superhero out of the costume, but you can never take her superpowers. Boom. The Nike tweet said that afterwards, and the tweet was so on brand for Nike, they probably came up with it in a minute flat, because that's who they are. They are eloquent in their branding message and can come back to any negativity with their brand message of empowering people to just do it. They are the brand that believes in your superhero-ness, the brand that says, just do it, just be yourself, just go for it. At the center of your being, you have the answer. You know who you are, and you know what you want. Now contrast Nike's actions which were perceived as steadfast and authentic to another brand, the New Yorker magazine. When they decided to invite Steve Bannon to their festival, there was an uproar. The man who is every late show host's favorite punching bag and President Trump's former chief strategist seemed to attract everyone's ire, for speakers started to drop out of the festival. There was this huge Twitter backlash against the companies announcing their invitation to Bannon. The backlash was more than they could sustain, and they uninvited Bannon. While this may have placated some of those who felt aggravated, it outraged many others opposing viewpoints. Plus, it did no favors for the brand image. Their actions made the brand come across as weak, inconsistent, and in the big picture, inauthentic, and in the biggest picture, untrustworthy. Neutrality doesn't work too well either in this era of social media campaigns and the minute-by-minute media cycle we have going. The thing is, consumers are much more politically cued in and engaged today than ever before. They want to see their brands as aligned with their beliefs and their value systems. In other words, brands often have to take sides and stick with them. Stick with those sides. When those sides align with the products or service that the brand offers, it works particularly well. Consumers want their brands to take a stand and offer their support to the cause dear to their heart. brands have to take sides. A brand doesn't have to please everyone. Nike's proud association with Copernic clearly pissed off a lot of people, but it pleased so many that there was a significant net gain for the company. It is authenticity that people will reward in the long term. There may be short-term losses, but in the end, a company seen to have strong values and ethics and the willingness to stick with them will win. The strength of your values and ethics is tested when you stand by them in the face of adversity. The true test is when brands stand by their values even when standing by them costs something. Otherwise, it's meaningless. They are there, yes, but the true purpose is to be there when the going gets tough. It's about Nike showing the courage of its conviction by not backing away from Copernic. It's about the New Yorker displaying a similar courage by bowing to public ire and standing down from their original position. This shows their lack of courage. A brand's strength is built upon its determination to promote its own distinctive values and mission, said Professor Jean-Noel Kaufner. So I invite you to take stock of your brand right now. Are you authentic with your branding? Does your brand have unshakable integrity? And is it seen to have this integrity? Or do you find yourself bowing to pressures? Make your brand's mission to identify and articulate your brand's values and ethics. Make sure that you and your people are clear about what you, by extension, your brand, will and will not stand for. Decide that you have to live by these rules like your brand's life depends on it. To have a tribe of brand loyalists who feel you are aligned with their values and ethics can serve as a checklist when deciding how to respond to social issues that arise in massive cultural conversations in your market, and they will arise, and you will be called upon to respond. How do you provide your community with a safe place to grow and try your newest products and services? By remaining true to the values and ethics, to the brand promise you made to them on day one. Assure them that you won't let those high school bullies into this community. Thanks for joining me today. Your brand is as strong as the values you stand for and the things you will never stand for. And those who stand up for their beliefs, even when it's tough, those are the brands that people truly bond with for decades, for life. Be one of them. Be an inspiration to millions. Besides, ever try pretending to be someone you're not? Being inauthentic is exhausting, whereas being authentic is exhilarating and fulfilling. That's why I always say, remember, love what you do and love how you do it. Thanks for watching. Don't miss out on a single thing. Subscribe below. And here's something else I think you'll love.